Working people aren't just points on a data graph. They are individuals who are going to be impacted by these decisions that are being made. And we would have preferred for the Bank of Canada to put a pause on additional interest rate hikes.
The president of the Canadian Labour Congress says the Bank of Canada needs to cool it with the interest rate hikes. B. Brusk says rate hikes may eventually be able to bring down inflation, but not before bringing a great deal of pain to working families.
Those working in service sector jobs, those working in retail jobs, those types of things will be the first impacted with unemployment or with their hours greatly reduced, when many of us have to make the decisions as to, buying that service or buying that new item.
When the bank got a fresh mandate from the federal government 1 year ago, it included more than just inflation targets. It also asked the bank to achieve a maximum level of sustainable employment. However, some economists note this language is vague and not an explicit bank objective.
Unfortunately, given what's happened this year, I think those words are effectively meaningless. They have not altered the Bank of Canada's approach one iota, as far as I can see.
Economist Jim Stanford says this was probably the federal government trying to get the central bank to moderate its policies. But he says the vague nature of the term maximum sustainable employment allowed the bank to go about business as usual. The Bank of Canada can only use monetary policy, interest rate adjustments to achieve its goals, but monetary policy doesn't affect everyone equally.
The whole history of monetary policy in Canada, and inflation targeting in particular, is very much wrapped up with, in a way, an ultimate conflict of interest between people who work for a living and people who own assets and live off the value of their assets for a living.
Stanford notes that if the bank's only goal is price stability and it gets there through rate hikes, the effects on our economy will benefit some more than others.
In 2022, we have seen after-tax corporate profits reach their highest share of Canada's GDP ever in history. So while workers are seeing their real purchasing power shrink, companies, in terms of profits, have never had it as good.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.